Could you please turn on your mic and camera? Okay. So thank you, Mr. Dr. Sethi. So thank you for your time and being on time. I know that you are going through a busy schedule. I'm following you on LinkedIn quite for a while, and you are doing an absolute amazing job. And congratulations for your achievement for becoming a dean for Gift University. So let me just give you a brief introduction about myself. As you know, my name is Jagdishwar Reddy. I'm an Indian living in France since last 5 years. I have done my bachelor's in fashion designing and I have done my master's in fashion and luxury goods management. Now I'm doing my DBA in design techniques where denim as a base fabric. And as a part of my research, I am conducting a series of interviews with an industry experts, and our episode is going to be the last episode. I have conducted successful episodes, 4 episodes. This is going to be the fifth and the last one. So this content, which I'm going to use and cite in my paper and share it in wherever it's required. So could you please let me know if you are okay with it? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's good.
All right. Jagdish, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure, working with somebody doing research, and I just love design researchers because people specifically in our part of the world. I mean, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. We take design just as an art piece, and nobody really wants to go into R&D. So it's an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure next 1 hour is going to be amazing with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So before we start, could you just give me a brief introduction about you and your background?
I am Dr. Mohammad Hasnain Sethi, and basically I'm from Pakistan. And I did my undergrad in fashion design and technology from National Textile University, which is the top textile institutes of Pakistan. One of the top textile institutes of Pakistan, definitely. But National Textile University is definitely the pioneer of textiles. In my final year, during my undergraduate, I worked on old camouflage and I designed army uniforms. And fortunately, one Chinese delegation from Wuhan Textile University was there, and the professors, when they visited our project display, they really appreciated it and they offered us 6 students. We were 6 students, so they offered us to pursue master's degree at Wuhan Textile University on scholarship. So I went to Wuhan and I completed my master's there. Uh, During my final year project, I worked on modest fashion. I basically merged modern and modest fashion for the women who wants to wear modest costume. For example, you can say as far as Pakistan or other Islamic countries are concerned, so abaya is considered one of the top modest, you know, garment for ladies. So I merged it with modern design techniques and silhouettes. And then I came back to my country, Pakistan, and I worked here at National Textile University, which is my mother institute. There I worked as a lecturer and program coordinator for 1 year. After 1 year, I got scholarship to pursue my PhD in fashion design from Jiangnan University in China. So I was doing pretty well. I was at a good stage of my career, but when I heard that I can be among those rare candidates in the world having PhD in fashion design, and definitely be the first one in my country, as far as I know, to have that doctorate degree in my baggage. So I immediately decided that I'm gonna go for this. And then I went to PhD, and it was one hell of a task for me because, you know,
That's,
since
I know
since young,
I'm in your shoes right now.
yeah, definitely, because research in fashion design, because as far as fashion is concerned, you cannot find seniors who are doing research in fashion. You cannot find juniors. I did not even have any batchmate there. I was the only one under the supervision of my professor who was doing PhD, and it was very hectic. And during my PhD, COVID-19 happened. But I'm grateful to the nature and grateful to the God that I was able to successfully publish six research papers which were indexing in Arts and Humanities Citation Index and Science Citation Index of Web of Science. And that was the basic requirement. Of course, thesis was one of the major component, but having few papers published in top journals was the basic requirement. So I was fortunate enough to get my papers accepted and published within 3 years and 7 months, and I got my PhD completed in 3 years and 9 months. And then um, when I came back to Pakistan, I got offers because when I posted it on the LinkedIn that I have completed my PhD in fashion design, so I got offers from almost all the design schools of the country to join their institutes as a lead faculty member. Uh, at that time, I preferred Gift University, which is based in the Punjab region of Pakistan. And the reason why I chose there were other institutes as well with better rankings, of course. But the reason why I chose this university because it is an emerging university. At that time, now it is quite established, but at that time it was an emerging university. It was built in 2002. Now it's been 23 years. I joined in 2021, and our department was still emerging. So my vision aligned with the vision of chairman and dean here. I had a few meetings with them, and after having few meetings with them, I decided that I'm going to work in Pakistan. I'm going to work for Gift University, and I have been working here since June 2021. First, I served for the 4 years. I served as head of School of Fine Arts, Design and Architecture, and now I am working on dual roles. Currently, I am also working as a dean of Faculty of Fine Arts, Design and Architecture. And meanwhile, during this time in September 2023, I was offered a position at Chechang Sci Tech University at School of Textile Science and Engineering. So for the last 2 years, I have also been working as a postdoc research scientist in fashion and textile design at Chechang Sci Tech University. And also have been doing some part-time consultancy for some uh, uh, medium rank institutes in China, and hopefully in future for some Pakistan institutes as well.
Great,
And
great.
today I'm here
Was
in front of you.
it was such a deep introduction. Thank you very much. So, if I'm not wrong, I think one of your papers you are talking also about the upcycling, right?
Yes, yes.
So, what made you interest in upcycling? Because you already have it too much. You are talking about textile, you are talking about sustainability, but upcycling is a very niche area within the sustainable. So, what made you come in this area and talk about upcycling?
Jagdish, actually, when in 2021 I went back to, I actually came back to Pakistan, and I visited few thesis displays, which usually undergraduate, degree shows at the end of their final year. So students were working on upcycling, but when I used to ask them, what did you do? They used to tell me I'm working on recycling. They did not know the difference between recycling and
Exactly,
upcycling.
yeah.
Yes, I'm sure in Paris you have been witnessing this a lot as well because it's a problem with all the design students globally. The other day I was talking to Professor Caroline Meyer. She's a fashion psychologist, and I'm sure you must have heard about her book Psychology of Fashion. And she was telling me
Yes.
that it's the same problem in London as well. I don't want to name the top design schools, but they are also facing the same challenges that students don't know the basic difference between recycling and upcycling. And since I had completed my PhD, and during my PhD, actually, I got to know there is a massive difference between recycling and upcycling because recycling is to just completely redo the entire cycle, whereas upcycling is the upgradation of a product. And at that time, I understood it, and I tried to inform as many people as I can in the faculty, in the among the students body. And since then our students have been working on this because um, as far as design industry is concerned, I mean fashion and textile designers, they cannot do recycling at that level because they don't really have the technical textile expertise. So what designers can do, they can only upcycle. So for this purpose, I we conducted our research. I just wanted to know if you read the title. I guess the title of that paper is "Upcycling: The Best Approach for Designers to Contribute to Sustainability." Because fashion designers can honestly, because they in their curriculum they don't have the technical textile subjects, so they cannot really contribute in upcycling. So what is in their hand, and there are many brands working on it. I mean Patagonia, and there are many other brands. I'm sure you, since you are doing your research on it, so you must know that there are many brands who are successfully working on upcycling, and they are well established names in not just in Europe but in Asia as well. There is one very famous Indian brand as well who is working on upcycling. I don't remember the name exactly, but that work is mentioned in my PhD thesis.
Sure, sure, of course they are. So since you have a deep experience in textiles and I am using denim as my base fabric to practice upcycling, so what do you think about denim? Can it be a best fabric in comparison to other fabrics to practice? Because in my experience, I love denim. Everyone love denim, and it is durable, long-lasting fabric. And you can practice patchworks, embroidery, XYZ techniques because of the strength of the fabric. So, what do you think? Denim is a suitable or the best fabric to practice upcycling, or is there any fabrics which could overlap the denim?
Look, that depends on your target market. If because I think if we want to promote sustainability, being the advocates of circularity or sustainability, I guess we should our target market should be the youngsters, students, youngsters, and streetwear should be the area in which we should work. And I guess there is no other fabric than denim fabric that can be appropriate for the youth, because as you already said that everybody loves denim because of its durability, its longevity, and it looks cool. It's a symbol of coolness among streetwear garments. So doing upcycling and doing patchwork with denim, I'm sure you're gonna get an amazing response. And for the last few years, our students are also working on sustainable denim. I guess there were techniques, as you know that we just had our thesis display in the last week, and some of our students use different patchwork. They applied different patchwork techniques to upcycle denim. Some of them converted denim into bags. Some of them converted uh, from one old denim to a new piece. So I guess there is a lot of potential, and you're gonna do a lot in denim industry.
Yeah, we can do a lot, but there is a challenge in scalability. We are seeing there are new brands coming, emerging every day in all the countries, but the challenge is that they are strict to be niche because mass production is not possible in upcycling. So what do you think? How do we break the barrier of scalability in sustain? I'm not saying upcycling business model, sustainable business model in general. How can we break the barrier of scaling and profitability?
Yes, the point you mentioned is absolutely right, because there is always a challenge with with scalability if you want to upcycle product. But I mean, if designers start working in this area and take one step at a time, and first, to create a market, you need to create a problem. So to create a problem, you need to aware, because a problem is not a problem until you're not aware of it, right? A problem becomes problem when you are aware. So first you need to aware, first we need to, as designers, we need to aware that, for example, one cotton t-shirt takes 2700 liters of water, you know and one denim jacket takes, I was reading one article, and they mentioned that a human can drink 24 water for 24 years, and that water is required to produce one denim jacket. And according to an article that is published by Aalto University, Finland, Professor Kirsi Ninamaki, she mentioned that every year 92 million ton garments are wasted. Every year, 100 billion garments are made. Every year, 79 trillion liter water is consumed by the fashion industry. 10% of the carbon dioxide emission is due to the fashion industry. According to some websites, it is the second most polluted industry after petroleum. According to some websites, it is the third one. So we need to aware our people that problem exists and we need to sort it out for our better future. I'm sure. I'm not sure if you have watched. There is there is one famous Netflix show by Hassan Minaj, who is the host, and there is one episode of that show, Fast Fashion, and the show's name is The Patriot Act. So, in which they mentioned how people in Indonesia and Bangladesh are living the lives uh, due to the poor supply chain, and people are drinking the water that is, coming from the industry after the textile processing has been done. So they are actually drinking those chemicals. So first we need to aware people that there is a problem, and then material sourcing and all these things. This is a second thing. First we need to let people know that what they are wearing, because I was there was a joke actually that fishes might be drinking your t-shirt, and you might be eating your t-shirt with sushi, because polyester is only petroleum, and they just uh, throw it in the oceans, and fish eat it, and then we eat that sushi. So you might be eating your t-shirt at the end of the day. So we need to let our students and our people know, and academia can play a massive role, because teachers and students, they must understand what sustainable fashion is, why it is needed. Most of our design schools globally, unfortunately, they focus on experimental and aesthetically pleasing garments, aesthetically pleasing products. They don't understand that functionality is needed. And when you tell them why you are doing upcycling, you are basically giving a solution towards sustainability. I'm sure then the demand will get higher, and once the demand gets higher, you it would be easier for you to attract the importers, to attract the wholesalers, to attract the local market, and other vendors who would produce more denim in more organic way. And we can also then take the textile waste. We can also collect the textile waste from different industries that are working not on sustainability, but they are generally working. So they waste a lot of fabric. So our students last year, one of the students, she also collected fabric from different textile industries, and started. She was aiming to have a startup that I would just scale my business on denim, and she got many vendors who would provide her with the waste denim.
Hmm.
That's my point of view. But
Yeah.
I'm sure there must be different indicators in France or Europe, because it is easy to avail such fabrics in production houses and production hubs like China, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. But I'm not sure. I'm sure there must be different indicators in Europe.
No, indicators are same, but but the difference is that the policies are strict. So basically,
Okay,
what retailers they are doing is they are getting manufacturing China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India. They are getting consumed here and they are dumping it in Africa.
okay.
So someone else is paying for someone else's mistake. So
Yes, someone. Yes, absolutely right. Someone else is paying for someone else's mistakes. Right.
so what role does the consumer play? Because end of the day, consumer is paying for it and consumer is suffering.
Yeah.
So what role does the consumer play in uplifting the sustainable alternative? Do you think he have to be aware about the education? He have to be educated about the impact of his shopping habits, or what do you where do you think the consumer is lacking, and what is your recommendation for the modern consumers?
The answer is in your question, actually, the awareness. And young researchers like you, when you publish something, I must say that such articles, because you have been doing hard work, you approach different people social media or LinkedIn through their profiles, and you have been following them. So it's basically hard work to follow somebody that because you want to contribute, right? You're not just doing it for the sake of one diploma or one degree. You want to contribute. I can feel that. So your article should be studied among different design schools because if, for example, in one design class, if there are 100 students, so you are wearing 100 people, and you are not just wearing 100 people, you are wearing 100 families, and those 100 families would spread the word. And we need to tell our students that stop buying fast fashion products. Instead of buying, what our students, what youngsters do, they want to look different every other day. They don't want to, because in India, in Pakistan, women always have a problem that I don't want to wear the same dress in second party. So and that's why they are buying more than they need. So we need to tell them that what impact does it have on our planet. And once they are aware, I'm sure, because there were people who did not agree with so many theories in the past, but now time has proven all those theories, and people have admitted one of the major one is the flat earth. Still there are people who believe that earth is flat, but how many of them are there? So I mean, once the consumer is aware, the market of fast fashion will definitely diminish. It may not completely go diminish, but it may take some time. But I'm sure at the end of the day, things will get better. But for that, we need to involve more and more researchers into it, because researchers are the voices. Only a researcher can spread the word among the consumers.
Mhm. So you are saying that education is the problem. Like, as you previously mentioned, the word upcycling is unknown to many. I have
Yes.
asked the people who are studying fashion, forget about a general audience. I have asked this question about what is the difference between upcycling, recycling, and downcycling. They only know recycling. They don't know what is upcycling. They
Yes.
don't know what is downcycling.
What is
So
downcycling?
where are we lacking? Like, are we lacking in education? So is this sustainable education should be only for fashion students? But sustainability is an issue for everyone. Doesn't matter, not only in the industry of fashion, plastic, whatever. Like, it is a global issue. It is an everyone's issue. So what do you think that the education, the policies of the education should start from the high school level, or like sustainability should be as a core subject for everyone at what stage?
It should be. It should be. Everybody must know about sustainable development goals. Actually, my comments would be, would sound harsh to you, but the
Mhm.
problem is in our education, and it's a massive problem. What design schools worldwide are doing, they are creating artists. They are producing artists. They are not producing designers. When a faculty member with undergraduate degree, with no masters, with no research background, start telling students that you must focus on pattern making, you must focus on draping, you must focus on learning how to stitch. So students don't look other into other areas. Students just focus that my garment should look appealing. They in most of the design school curriculums, if you go through their you will find that they only have practical subjects without theoretical knowledge. And if somebody would not know that what design is, how can you think that they would propose solution? How would they know that recycling, upcycling, sustainability, circularity? I was visiting a thesis. I would not name a university. I was visiting a thesis yesterday, and I asked a student. She was presenting a topic. She made five experimental garments. I asked, "What is your problem statement?" And she said, "Look, everybody has a different problem. Your problem is not my problem, and my problem is not your problem. What you think is a problem may not be for problem for me." So they had no idea what is my meaning, or what I was aiming to ask, right? I asked what is design, and one of the students said, for me, design is an art to present yourself. That's it. And when I ask them what is fashion, so they just tell me fashion is glamour. They don't understand the basics. They don't understand the fundamentals. And they, because designers are the one who set the trend for the entire global fashion industry. It's a $3 trillion industry, and designers are the main parts, because once you design, then labor starts stitching it. So first we need to make such policies that every school's curriculum must have sustainability knowledge. They must know what is design. They must understand what is the purpose of their degree. Because what I understood, having spent almost 12 to 13 years in the fashion industry, students believe that they should have a competency on Adobe Photoshop. They should be able to draw well, and they should be able to drape well, and that's it. But once they go to the industry, they don't make patterns. Somebody 16 years of age, 60 years of age, gray hair, they would be making patterns. The labor is stitching the garments. You know what happened in Rana Plaza in Bangladesh because of the poor facilities. So because your students are, so at the end, I have seen, even I have seen the students from, if I talk about my country, the textile designers, they're working in ceramic industry. They are creating designs for ceramics, for tiles, for floor tiles, for walls, for they're not really working in the textile industry because they only have the competency on Adobe Photoshop. They would just take some of the pictures from Pinterest, tap on the Adobe Photoshop, and then they would just try to create a design. And once you ask them what was your inspiration, they had no idea. Most of them are still working. If I see dresses in our part of the world, in South Asia, you would only see flowers, florals, birds, and that's it. If somebody is trying to go out of the box, it would just do color blocking. And that's where the fashion of South Asia ends. I mean, we should know our students, and for that, it always trickles down. We need to engage our faculty with researchers, because research is to entire different what you're gonna teach in a course. Research
Mhm.
R&D is completely different department. Researchers should conduct workshops. In the universities should take such decisions, and then once your faculty understands, only then they would be able to convey it to the students. Sorry, I have sore throat because for the last few days we have been very busy due to our thesis display.
It's okay, but yeah, I can. It's clear. So let's come back to business from education. I am seeing there are sustainable alternatives, but at a premium price. Okay, if you want to buy an upcycling denim jacket in Europe, it is pricing between 350 to 400, 500 euros.
Okay.
It is out of the box, out of my imagination to purchase. So
Mm.
sustainability option is there, but it is in the premium category. So how do you think that a sustainable alternative will bridge the gap between everyday fashion and the luxury brands? It should be somewhere in middle.
Who is selling an upcycled denim for 350 euros?
There are many brands in Paris. In fact, in center Paris, there is an area which is famous for artistic things. And if you go
They
to
actually, yes, please complete.
if you go to Galerie Lafayette, it is a famous shopping mall in Paris, and there is a certain category where a couple of artists sitting, and they will be upcycling your own jacket in front of your own eyes. So they are charging too much. Let's say
Actually,
that.
one of the reason I believe that they don't really want to create a sustainable fashion industry. There is no fashion industry at the moment. There is a fast fashion industry. I will tell you the model of YouTube, how the YouTube earns. YouTube basically charge uh, companies to show their ads on different YouTube videos, and they charge users to not see those ads.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Got it.
Companies pay YouTube to show their ads to the users, and YouTube charge users. If you don't want to see the ads, you can give us money, and you would not be seeing those ads. So basically, since there are very few brands, and they just don't want the top fashion brands. They also don't want to create a sustainable fashion industry, because there used to be two fashion seasons. Now there are 52 fashion seasons. We used to call them weeks, right? Now
Yeah,
we
every
use
week.
now we call them fashion weeks. So the problem is, when there is less competition, so the supply chain and everything, it's a case of demand and supply. Once there are more brands, once people like you take initiative that I want to do a startup and I would collect denim, and or you can bring your denim to me and I would help you make a better product. And the prices must be, again, it depends on your target market. If somebody is selling a denim for 350 or 400 euros, so their target market is elite class, upper class. They're not targeting students, because if you're targeting students, you have to sell it for 20 euros, 30 euros, 50 euros, right? Because
Yes.
the
Yes.
manufacturing cost from India and Pakistan is too less. They are charging thousands of times higher than this. So I mean, there must be more fashion designers who must take initiative, go towards entrepreneurship, and start competing such brands who are really charging high, because otherwise we are not going to break the barriers.
Mhm. Yes, I agree. Absolutely agree. So coming back to the sustainability, since we are talking about sustainability too much these days, so is there enough attention on the labor who are working in the industry, or brands are only putting all their efforts to make themselves as sustainable as possible? Because we have seen very too many greenwashing issues. Brands, retailers, they want to make sure they are not doing unethical practices. So these days, they are releasing the reports, annual reports, to show how ethical they are. But do you
Yes.
think it is ethical with the labor who are working in the industry?
Absolutely not. These are false claims. I don't want to name the brand, but you would get an idea what I'm talking about. There is a brand name that has a specific niche with the name Conscious. I'm not gonna take the first name of that brand. They're gonna sue me for it.
Okay.
But when you go to the background, as I mentioned before, you must go and watch the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act, Fast Fashion by Hassan Minhaj. He mentions the same thing, that in their annual reports they mention they are going ethical on page number 59, and then their statement contradicts on page number 134 that what they are doing. So what they are doing, that they mention everything on the book, but they mention one thing on page one and the other thing that is basically relevant to it in on page number 99. So because nobody got a time to go through the entire report these days, because the attention span is much less. You see, people are more interested in reels, people are more interested in shorts, even kids. You play a video for them and they ask you to play reels, because attention span is getting lesser, so nobody actually reads the entire report. So
Exactly.
these are the false claims, and labor is suffering massively. You go to the industries in China, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, they work 16 to 18 hours, and what they're getting, I guess, $3 a day, $4 a day, and facilities are so poor, and they're working like, I don't want to say, but they're working like donkeys in the industry.
Yeah. So there was, just to remind, one of the incident which I have reported in my paper is that there is an incident, a garment factory incident happened in Pakistan itself. They are
Mhm.
collaborating with one of the British brand. I mean, I don't want to be sued, so I don't want to take the name. So this company, they got greenwashed. They got, like, sued for greenwashing in London, and they got like belly up, and it led thousands of garment factory workers in Pakistan go jobless overnight without the compensation, without the explanation. And most of those garment factory workers are women, underage labor. So this is horrible. I have cited with the name. So one of the investigative journalists from Al Jazeera has documented everything. So I have cited it in my paper.
Perfect.
So,
Have you, when, in which journal are you aiming to publish your research?
I'm not sure yet. I'm trying
Okay.
as a top journalist, but once I need to get this validated first by
Mhm.
when the final draft is ready by my
Definitely.
supervisor. Then I will definitely share once it is ready.
Sure.
Okay, so since we are talking about this back end incidences, so what do you think use of technology like a barcode system to tell an entire story of the product line for a consumer? For example, brands have a tagline which have a barcode. If I have a smartphone and if I could scan the barcode, of course, brands release 150 pages of report. No one is interested in that. But I
Mm.
need to know the story cut to cut. Who is the manufacturer? Who is the supplier? Where the raw materials are sourced? Do you think this initiative will help
Do you,
consumer to know?
are there any brands working on it?
This is my recommendation in my
It
policies. Yes,
it
brands are
would be
saying.
excellent. It would be actually it's a great idea
Mhm,
because if you're buying a product, you must know that what happens behind the story behind that specific product because uh, I think it would be very interesting and it's an excellent recommendation. You must
mhm.
you must you must recommend it in the recommendation sections of your paper at the end. It is going to be amazing. But again, that depends how many brands are going to do this and how authentic would that be? Because you have no way to verify it.
Mhm. This is easy since we are using the barcode. Anyone create a barcode and put it, and you have the Google Lens option to scan it. Like, what is the price, when is it sold, what is the lifespan it is supposed to be. These days, we already have the address and phone number.
It can have a lot of more things I would like to add. For example, you can also add what is the light fastness of that garment, what is the washing fastness of that garment, what
Mhm.
detergents would suit that garment, and every garment has one of the stickers or something else attached to it mentioned with details. So adding a barcode or QR code, which is an advanced form of codes, so it would be amazing for. And I think you're gonna be praised for this if you take such
But
initiative.
yeah, yeah. But the challenge is here that we already see the bar with the tags with the product with the details of the manufacturer along with the retailer. But the manufacturers, they are overbooked, but they don't want to disappoint their client. Despite knowing that they are overbooked, they still accept the order and give it the subcontract to the small manufacturers in the company. We are not sure whether the manufacturer maintained on the tag is a real manufacturer of the product, because I have also cited the documents, investigative documents conducted by Al Jazeera, BBC, where they went into the manufacturing units showing that this brand have no contact with the decathlon, but they are manufacturing it. They have been given a subcontract to manufacture without the knowledge of the
Decathlon.
retailer. Yeah. So we never know whether the brand which is saying this is a person who
Yes,
manufactured is true.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Okay, so since we are talking about the business, and I'm saying that let's compare fast fashion and sustainable brands together.
Mm.
Do you think sustainable brands can give a tough competition to the fast fashion? Today, it is like less than 1 or 2%, but do you think in the coming 10 years, the percentage could increase that, the percentage of competition fast fashion have to face through the sustainable slow fashion brands?
It will take some time, and it would depend the literacy rate and GDP of a country because usually when you make things sustainable, it is going to be high quality material and it is going to be expensive, not as cheaper as fast fashion. And due to the fast fashion, everybody is doing work on machines, and people who were doing, handwork and handicrafts were quite expensive, and handmade textiles, traditional textiles usually. So they have also lost their jobs. So I think awareness would be one issue, literacy rate would be second issue, and the GDP would be the third issue. Because if somebody is earning $100 or $200 a month, how can you expect him to buy? a denim worth $100 or $50. So it would take some time. We need to find ways of how to make sustainable garments and that are cost effective as well. So, and for that, we need a mass R&D on a massive scale. We need more researchers. We need industry and academia linkage. Usually, industries feel that we don't really need academia because we are getting orders and we're producing for it. We don't want to go into R&D. And academia, they also writing. Even if they are working on research, they are just writing papers, and there is no applied research.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
fast,
yeah. Applied
yeah,
research is the
sustainable
issue.
sustainable fashion brands can give competitions, but that depends on those three factors I mentioned earlier.
Hmm. So since
I, if you
yeah,
if you I, I'm not sure if you have read one of my articles that was published in Fiber and Textile in Eastern Europe Journal, and the first line I mentioned that people these days are participating in sustainable fashion marches, but they're also wearing fast fashion products.
yeah, yeah. This is a funny thing. Like, I also talked about brand
That's
who
what
is
we do
writing the
usually.
quotes on the t-shirt, like, save earth, mother earth. The t-shirts are made with unethical,
Yeah,
cotton made with the child labor. It is
yeah.
funny. So, have you seen or associated with any successful projects which are actively working on denim upcycling and they are profitable? Any such products you have come across in your experience?
Jagdish,
Projects?
there are some projects that I will try to share the pictures with you. I'm not sure if it's in my computer or not. That students that started working on upcycled denim. But the problem is, once student graduate and they get a job, so they don't really go towards the entrepreneurship side or startup side. So they start getting money, and once your manager start but assigning the task to you. So they are just bound to it. I have no successful stories of somebody who started upcycled denim brand, but I know there are many students who started doing projects in this area, and their projects were quite successful, but they did not take it to the long path
Yeah.
because
Since we are living,
people want
yeah.
quick money, start job, get money every month. I don't want to waste my 2 years on a fashion brand that is going to be established, and then there are, as you mentioned yourself, the policies and awareness issues, scalability issues, because there are no government policies that are going to support such people. So people just don't want people think that it's going to be very hectic and tiresome for them, and that's why they choose shortcuts.
Mhm. So
But
since you also,
you should take such an initiative.
Mhm. So you are saying the policies are not so strict. So if you have given an
No,
opportunity to give the
I mean, in
recommendation,
this region there are no policies for such people. Yeah, there are
okay,
no policies because I mean, government should support such people who are because environmental is not just one country's issue. It's an issue for our planet.
it's a global
The
issue. Yeah.
yes, it's a global issue. So all governments from all the parts of the world, whether it's
Mhm.
Africa, it's Asia, um, it's Europe, it's America, Australia. It's a global problem. We should understand it. There should be good policies to encourage such students, such entrepreneurs, to do such startups. And but the issues of our governments are quite different. They are more focused on weapons and wars. They're more focused on the politics, who should get
Saving the
independence and
chair.
who should not. Yeah, saving their chairs, saving their faces. So our issues are not. I mean, I was. mm, I was reading an article that there is one country, I think it was Finland, that the top businessman of that country is their finance minister. I think it was about Canada. The top doctor is their health minister. But if you see what's happening in our part of the world, in Asia, anybody can be anything. Doesn't matter if there can be an IT minister, there can be an IT minister who don't know how to write a WhatsApp message. So that's what what's been happening in our part of the world. And we are the top manufacturers. Asia,
Yeah.
we are the top manufacturers, but our priorities are very different.
So, for example, if you got an opportunity to make five, let's say three policy changes to strip the policies, what would be your recommendations? For example, let's say banning the dumping, like burning the unsold garments is one of
Mhm.
mine. So, give me three policy recommendations you want to give it to the government.
I mean, one thing must be overproduction. You know,
Mhm.
when you overproduce something, only then you need to dump or then you need to burn. And once you burn, you don't suffer, people suffer. They have asthma problems, and there are so many other kind of diseases. So one thing is overproduction. Second thing is, if you ask me to change the policy, I mean, uh, such materials should be banned that are not easy to decompose. Such materials should be banned. Priorities needs to be changed. And for the third thing, I mean, there should be something that can be added to the policy, that government should provide funding for the research and for the startups on sustainable fashion brands. These are three things I would encourage.
Yes. So what about the consumer preferences? For example, if there's tomorrow there are the brands which come with the thrifting second-hand model or subscription model, but in South Asia particularly, people has this taboo when it
Mhm.
comes to buying a second-hand house or second-hand car. They don't
Hesitate.
mind, but when
Yeah.
it comes to buying a second-hand jacket, they have the taboo issues. Culturally, yes, they don't want to wear someone else's clothes, but do you
Mhm.
think there is a chance to change this type of break this type of
They would,
traditional taboo?
yeah, this is a social stigma, but they would wear it if nobody knows that it's coming from a thrift market or second hand. They would wear it, but they would not wear it once they know that Jagdish knows what I'm wearing today. But one of my colleagues, she's working actually on it, because in South Asia, her topic is this, that uh, uh, the taboos and the social stigma associated with second-hand clothing in Pakistan, and I guess in India as well.
Yes.
So I'll try to connect both of you. Maybe she would be any of your help, and you guys maybe can collaborate for a research
Sure.
article in the future.
Please,
She's
please.
she's working on it, and it's a problem. Again, awareness and literacy rate is the problem. We can buy a second-hand car, we can buy a second-hand house, but we cannot buy a second-hand garment. And according to one research, if every person in the world buys only one second-hand garment every year, it would reduce the carbon, which is equal to 5 million cars a year. If
Wow.
only one second-hand garment, it's a research, so it can have a huge impact. We
Yeah.
need to aware
So this
people.
shows yeah, yeah.
You know,
So
in
the
in, in
challenge
our part,
is
in our part, awareness is the main issue.
yeah, the education, consumer awareness. So,
Yes.
what do you think the future of upcycling brands, particularly in denim? This is my last question, by the way, so I don't want to take.
No, no,
So,
it's okay.
uh, what is the future of thrifting and upcycling brands in South Asia in next 10 years?
Sorry, what is the?
What is the future of thrifting and upcycling brands in South Asia in next 10
I
years?
think I think we need to aware people, as I mentioned before, but I think it would have a bright future, because usually the thrift markets, they are, if you displays everything.
Mhm.
If you go to the thrift market, they just throw the stock like this. So you
Mhm.
feel that it is going to be dirty. You feel that it is going to be, somebody else wore it, so I'm not going to wear it. So I think they would have a better future if they present themselves better, if they market themselves better, if they have better displays. Like, you go to a thrift market and you're not feeling that it's a second hand garment. There is no smell, there is no stink there, and garments are not on the floor. So I think if brands work on this, it can have a very, very, very bright future, because we know that there are still many people below the poverty line in our part of the world. So it can attract those consumers with less income, what definitely with a better profit, because thrift in thrift market you can have profit, but for that you need to have better marketing, you need to have better displays, you need to have better environment to attract customers. When things are on the floor and on a cart, so you think anyone would buy it? Anyone with that social stigma and taboo in his mind, they're not going to buy it. And if they're not going to buy it, we cannot aware our consumers.
Yes, right. So
And
that's it from
I
my
hope
end.
you agree with it, with the last
Of
part.
course, more than 100% I agree. We are on the same page. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this conversation.
It's an absolute pleasure, and apologies that I could not appear it on your request for the last 2 weeks. But I'm sure you understand that
It's okay.
my
It's okay.
schedule was very, very
Quality
tight.
things take time, just like sustainable garment. Okay, just bear with me for 2 more minutes. Let me off the
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
So